Good evening and welcome. Well, Nitish Kumar has taken oath as the Chief Minister of Bihar for the 5th time in a ceremony that brought together several regional leaders including Mamata, Banerjee and Arvind Kejriwal. Is it going to be Nitish versus Modi in 2019? Is this the beginning of an anti-Modi front?
मैं नीतीश कुमार सत्यनिष्ठा से प्रतिज्ञान करता हूं.
Nitish Kumar being sworn in as Chief Minister after his third consecutive and decisive election win. His hat-trick was perhaps overshadowed by the family of the chief of his bigger partner, the RJD.
ये शब्द उपेक्षित नहीं है बल्कि अपेक्षित है. कृपया एक बार.
A minor fumble by Lalu Yadav's elder son as the first-time MLA became a minister. His younger brother, also a first-timer, has been named Deputy Chief Minister. Immediately after Chief Minister Nitish Kumar, over many senior leaders. But Tejasvi's possible appointment as Deputy Chief Minister could be controversial. He studied only up to class 9 to pursue cricket. In contrast, Nitish Kumar is an engineer known for an obsession with stats on crucial ministries like roads and electricity. Lalu's daughters see nothing wrong.
नहीं, ऐसा कुछ भी नहीं है. जैसा उनको पद मिलेगा वो ऐसा ही काम करेंगे.
इसमें आप कुछ विरोधाभास नहीं देखते?
नहीं, कोई विरोधाभास नहीं है. दोनों को जैसा मिलेगा वैसा अपना काम करेंगे.
He is eligible, so he has got the post. So we are very happy and very proud of both of him.
Political experience इनके पास है और इनको महत्वपूर्ण पद मिलना चाहिए और संगठन को चलाने का इनके पास क्षमता है.
देश में 60% युवा है. अगर युवा मुख्यमंत्री बने तो इसमें संशय की बात नहीं होना चाहिए मेरे ख्याल से.
As Bihar's new government took shape, this stage also played host to many anti-BJP but disparate voices like Mamata Banerjee, but as was CPM Sitaram Yechuri, Arvind Kejriwal, but as was Rahul Gandhi, who was late. UP Chief Minister Akhilesh Yadav did not turn up, apparently busy with his father's birthday celebrations.
All in all, it does seem that this will be a government that will be dominated by Lalu, courtesy both of his sons. Nitish Kumar, known for his governance agenda, remains to be seen whether he can carry that on in the next few months and years or whether the road ahead will be a rocky one. In Patna with camera person Habib Ali and Manoj Kumar, this is Alok Pandey, NDTV.
Well, that's the question that we're asking tonight, and joining us on the panel this evening, we have Sambit Patra, spokesperson of the BJP, Sanjay Nirupam, MP and leader of the Congress party, Derek O'Brien, parliamentary party leader of the Trinamool Congress and Rajya Sabha MP, Pawan Verma, Rajya Sabha MP of the JDU, and Mr. Shekhar Gupta joining us here in the studio today. Let me first ask you, Mr. Pawan Verma, first of all, congratulations, the new government has been sworn in. But may I ask you straight off, whether the sword of Lalu Prasad Yadav hangs over your head as well? Tejasvi Yadav has been sworn in, is taking over as the Deputy Chief Minister. He's just 26 years old. He's Lalu's son. Does the JDU not have some concerns about this?
I don't believe so. I believe Mr. Lalu Prasad ji has himself endorsed the name of Nitish Kumar as Chief Minister throughout the elections, and even before that, when for several months the JDU government was supported from the outside by the RJD. There is no reason to believe that he in any way wishes to destabilize the government. In fact, he adds strength to it. So I think this is this kind of spectre being raised or perhaps being thought of, which doesn't exist. It was an exceptionally successful swearing in ceremony today.
What is the qualification he has, Mr. Verma, apart from the fact that he's Lalu Prasad Yadav's son? To be honest,
I think that the post of Deputy CM has been there in the government before. Mr. Tejasvi Yadav represents the youth, and his party has 80 MLAs. So it's the choice of the RJD as to who they would from their party wish to nominate as the Deputy Chief Minister. In any case, the Chief Minister Nitish Kumar, and the young man will learn from Mr. Nitish Kumar's governance record, which is both verifiable and visible. And
Okay,
I think we should give young people a chance.
Well, I just want quick comments from the panel on this issue of merit versus dynasty. And Derek O'Brien, let me bring you in on that. Is this a classic case of dynasty over merit? Just on principle, I'm asking you this question because we have this debate all the time in this country.
No, I think it's a little unfair to pick only on politicians. There are doctors' sons who become doctors. There are lawyers' sons and daughters who become lawyers. And I think it's merit. It's a bit of mix, but I don't think being a son or a nephew or a niece disqualifies you. I think that's a little unfair. And I think young politicians should be given a chance. And this is a call of a party, so I'm not here to comment on what call the RJD have taken. As Pawan said quite correctly, they've got 80 MLAs. It's their call who they want to make the Deputy Chief Minister.
Okay, so
the rule,
go ahead.
A dynasty, I feel, cannot be a disqualification, nor should it be the only qualification. So
Sambit, I'm sure, has an opening comment on that before I move on to our subject. Sambit.
In fact, today is a day of celebration for the politics in Bihar in the sense that a new government has been sworn in. So it would not be behoving on my part to criticize the government, and we wish them all the good lucks in the world so that they can perform in the months and years to come. But as far as dynastic politics is concerned, I'm reminded of an article in 2010 written by Patrick French. Patrick had stated that looking at the Indian scenario, the title of the article was Princely State of India. And looking at the matter of politics in India, probably after a few years, there would be only 100 families in India which would be ultimately controlling the politics of India. And that's where today we are probably moving towards. I remember today after the oath-taking ceremony, the picture that was taken, the photo op for which all of them stood, was almost like a family photo op. We saw Lalu Prasad Yadav ji, we saw Rabdi ji, the sons standing by their sides. So naturally it was more like a kitchen cabinet than a real cabinet of the state. Anyhow, best of luck to the family and best of luck to the whole cabinet. But remember, with Tejaswi and Tej Pratap sworn in as ministers, good luck to them. But somehow I'm forced to draw the words from the Hindi serial of the popular television channels. Agle janam mohe rajnaitik virasat hi dijo.
All right, let me then move on to this whole point about whether this is an anti-Modi front that has taken shape. Sanjay Nirupam, is it too early to say that, or is this what this was? Sambit Patra talked about a family photo, but it wasn't just the Lalu Prasad Yadav and his family. You had all these regional leaders coming together. Rahul Gandhi, of course, arrived very, very late, way after Nitish Kumar was sworn in. But anyway, is this what this is becoming now, the rise of an anti-Modi front at the centre? Sanjay Nirupam.
Yes, of course. Today is one of the greatest moment of modern India politics. It's a watershed moment. Nitish Kumar taking oath along with his cabinet amid one of the senior most opposition leaders from across the country is, of course, a very important day, and it is somehow a day of polarizing, or you can say forming a new combination of the political parties which are against BJP and its policy. Now, what is going to be in the future it's difficult to answer at this point of time, because in democracy, at the end of the day, number works. Whichever party is going to have maximum number of MP or maximum number of group, that group or that party is going to be the main leader of the whole coalition or the combination which is coming up, which is forming right now. So whether it is Nitish versus Modi or what, I don't want to get into that. At this point of time, I would like to congratulate Nitish Kumar and his whole team, and I would like to thank the people of Bihar for reposing one of the greatest faith in the political parties which are against the communalism and which believe in social justice and secularism.
Okay, let me ask Derek
O'Brien. At the end, I would like to tell you one thing, that our leader, Vice President...
Yeah. No, one second, Sanjay.
Pardon?
I just want to ask Derek then this specific question of whether this is the beginning of a new front. Derek, is Nitish Kumar, in all honesty, the most likely face around which other parties can sort of rally around in 2019? Everyone's already talking about it, or do you think it's too early?
I think a national election is an aggregate. I think a journalist said it, I don't know who, but whoever said it, I'll use the same words. A national election is an aggregate of state elections. So the next election which is coming up, the ones in Bengal, the ones in Tamil Nadu, the ones in Assam. I think the starting point in this was, you remember there was a chief minister, 3 chief ministers, 4 chief ministers met in Delhi. Mamata, Banerjee, Arvind, Kejriwal and Nitish Kumar. So I think what has really happened, I think the bigger message in this election is that this BJP government at the center has been extremely arrogant in the way they've approached parliament, in the way they've approached social issues, and in the way they've approached even governance issues. So I think that's the big message first, that they have to come down many notches. That's the message of this verdict. As far as there are people like Nitish Kumar, there are people like Mamata Banerjee, all these people are maybe prime minister material, but that does not necessarily mean they want to be prime ministerial aspirants. So we don't need to go there. The first issue is that the BJP's attitude in the last 1.5 years, they squandered a huge mandate. And in Bengal, because you're talking about front and federal formation, let me make it absolutely clear. In Bengal, March, April, I think maybe the elections, I believe, Trinamool Congress has 3 opponents in these elections in alphabetical order: the BJP, the Communist Party of India Marxist and the Congress Party.
Okay, so but do you acknowledge that the seeds of an anti-BJP alliance have been sown? Do you think that this is the beginning of it, and do you think it can last if that's the case? Aren't there people with too many egos, too many different ideologies? Can even if an alliance comes together?
I want to come in here.
Yeah, Pavan Verma, do you agree with that? Do you think that's what it is? Then I'll give it. Then I'll hand it to you, Sambit. Sambit, give me a second. I'll come to you next. Yes, yes, Mr.
I'll just quickly give you an answer, Nidhi. I don't believe this is the occasion, when a government has been just sworn in today, to start to say, talk about leadership or what an alliance would be on a larger basis. I think what has happened in Bihar, Nidhi, and I have said it before, is the emergence of an alternative paradigm of politics, at least the beginning of it, which emphasizes good governance, but good governance that goes beyond slogans, which reiterates the fundamental importance of social justice and an inclusive agenda, and which tries to pursue both within a milieu of religious and social harmony. And together this constitutes, in my view, in contrast to the Narendra Modi brand of politics, an alternative brand of politics that wants to carry all the people of India together, and without in any way sacrificing the paramount goals of good governance and economic development. Now we have to see how this alternative paradigm of politics progresses in the days and months ahead, and who are its votaries and what kind of formation that broad support will take is a matter for the future.
Okay, you're being cautious on that. Sambit, how do you look at this, sort of coming together of all these non-BJP parties at the swearing in today? Should we be reading more into it?
So Nidhi, though as I began by saying that it's a good day today that they are taking, that the swearing in ceremony took place, and so I should be less critical for a new government. But since we are in a political discourse, we are in a political debate, let me make it very clear that what we are saying is coming together of the parties, I would say, is finding of crutches. Many of the forces which were being discarded, many of the forces which do not see that they would be able to stand on their own, are in fact in search of crutches. And today, that's why the Congress party has become the new regional. The Congress party, which was in fact the epicenter of all the alliance, which should have been rather being the most important political party, rallying point for all political parties, rather has been reduced into a new regional with other political parties Either they have the choice of being with Congress or they do not attempt themselves to be with Congress. So in fact, the big question is what's going to come out of this kind of alliance, when we have already seen in the previous past also, in the previous occasions also, that the third front has always failed. There's nothing called as the third front, as Mr. Arun Jaitley and others have rightly maintained.
Talked about.
And at the end, I would say, just a second, since I'm leaving and this is my last comment, I have to go for the other channel, let me just make the last comment. Remember, the qualification for the Mahagathbandhan in Bihar was the disqualification of Lalu. If Mr. Lalu Prasad Yadav would not have been disqualified from the mainstream politics because of the court case, then Gathbandhan would not have qualified. Now, with so many qualified people to become the Prime Minister, rather the aspirants of Prime Minister, whether a qualification for coming together is possible or not is a big question. I believe the time alone will answer.
But would you acknowledge that with the opposition, when by the fact that they came together in Bihar, they proved that if opposition parties are willing and they're willing to come together, Bihar of course is not like UP or any other state, then they can turn the tables on the BJP. Is that some amount, has that drawn some amount of concern within the BJP?
See, I would say, Nidhi, that a political dispensation should never be overconfident. Even if they are working 24/7 for the betterment of the nation, no one in this world should be overconfident. Preparedness is the right word, and preparedness is, I think, prudent. So we should all be prepared. If they are all going to come together, we should be prepared with our strength of good work that we are doing. We should take the good work to the people of this country to see, to perceive, to receive, and thereafter think for themselves. So we would always be prepared, as is the best prudence in politics.
Okay, let me ask Shekhar Gupta then to weigh in on everything that he's heard so far. Do you think that this is A, the beginning of a front, and B, even if it is, can it last? Are there just too many contradictions? For instance, we expected Akhilesh Yadav to come today and he didn't. He ended up boycotting.
Look, he was not a member of the front to begin with,
exactly.
but that's a factual point. But the fact is, every front, every coalition has contradictions. BJP has two natural partners, Shiv Sena and Akali Dal, because they are religion-based parties. And yet, there are contradictions between them. We had BJP spokesman sort of talk sarcastically about dynastic rule, but the fact is that the two key essential coalition partners of the BJP, Akali Dal and Shiv Sena, are fully dynastic parties, and even their partner in Bihar, Ramvilas Paswan, he's even more dynastic than Lalu Yadav. So I think this is an interesting coalition, because this is not a third front coalition. Many of the elements of the third front, old third front, are there, but this is a second front. This is not a third front. The definition of a third front is, it's third because it's non-Congress, non-BJP.
Yeah.
This is non-BJP, but Congress is in it. That is a big shift in Indian politics. Congress agreeing to be a very junior partner in a
Do you think somebody like Mamata Banerjee, though, could back Nitish Kumar to be Prime Minister?
Well, I think it's very early. As the cricket coaches always tell you, play the ball that's delivered to you. Don't play the next over, and certainly don't play the next session, and don't play the pitch. Right? I think the history of politics is filled with obituaries of those politicians who made premature presumptions on what they were going to do 2 years, 3 years, 5 years from now. Every week counts in politics. It's several hundred of weeks until we get to 2019. So I think a lot has to happen. Important thing is, can Nitish Kumar manage the challenge now of having Lalu's family as partners?
Yeah, because, I want to come to that.
I have less of a problem with the 26-year-old becoming Deputy Chief Minister. Right? He can be Deputy Chief Minister.
It's more about Lalu remote
controlling. But with Lalu, let him function as a 26-year-old understudy who's learning the job. Or will Lalu then say, "Arey bhai, wo file kya aaya hai, usko aise kar do, usko hata do, usko
I want to ask Pawan Verma
about
that.
As he did from the jail when his wife was Chief Minister.
Yeah, and Derek, though, let me ask you, let me put it this way, since I know you can't stick your neck out one way or the other about whether or not Mamata Banerjee would support Nitish in the future, but do you see a Mahagathbandhan-like situation being replicated in other states? Do you think it's possible? Do you think it's possible for parties to come together at a national level to defeat the BJP in 2019 and make Nitish the rallying point, or anybody else?
I'm going to extend Shekhar Gupta's analogy and stick to cricket.
Much safer, much safer.
300 balls make up a 50-over innings. We are playing 50 overs, that's 294 seats in Bengal. And believe me, Nidhi, I'm coming to your program after a long while, and I'm glad I'm getting an opportunity to say this. Between now and April, we are not thinking about anything else in the Trinamool Congress. We believe we've done some great work in Bengal for the last 4.5 years. We're going to look and play each one of those 94 balls to win close to 294 seats. Nothing else. Nothing else. That is the single-minded focus of Mamata Banerjee's government and the Trinamool Congress. Everything else can wait for after April 2016.
Okay, so then...
so it's a fair.
Which is a fair point. Which is a fair point, because you have to focus on Bengal.
I'll give you another piece of cricket analogy. Another piece of cricket analogy. Another piece, no, because the Bengal elections are coming now. The other cricket analogy, if you thought BJP lost the Bihar elections, by an innings and 4 runs, in Bengal, they, without sounding, they're not even at the games.
Well,
nor is the Congress for that matter, nor is the left.
Well, Sambit has run away to another channel and
we hope to do very well in Bengal, but No, Sambit hasn't run away to any channel. Today is the day the BJP don't want to come out and bat. They'd rather be sitting in the dressing room.
To be fair to him, he did. But Pawan Verma, on this point that I raised in the beginning and that Shekhar Gupta raised again, about the real challenge for Nitish right now, even before we talk about, another front coming up, is this issue of governance. Everyone's asking you this question. Is Lalu going to be the remote control? Because he's known to have in the past even, called up top cops in various districts directly and, interfered with administration. So, is there a fear that would repeat again?
Nidhi, I want to clarify to you with as much emphasis that I can command. It's not that Laluji should be seen as assumed to be a person who would like to in any way either obstruct or destabilize good governance. What is the assumption for it today? 10 years have passed since he was out of power. For 10 months now he has been supporting this government. There is not a single instance where he has tried to intervene in a matter of law and order or any other issue contrary to what the government is doing in pursuit of good governance with Nitish Kumar as Chief Minister. Now this is something that needs to be understood. What is the motivation and why should he? He has come back to power. He has endorsed Nitish Kumar as Chief Minister. Nitish Kumar is known to be uncompromising where good governance is concerned. He's a meticulous administrative planner. In fact, what may happen is that Tejasvi will get the best tutelage he can. He calls Nitish Kumar Chacha.
Well,
and he says that I will learn
that
under
sounds
him.
like such an ideal
and I think
situation.
that together they will make a good team.
Well, that sounds like an ideal situation, but let me get a closing comment from Shekhar Gupta on, the political cast of characters that played out on stage today. It was, Mamata Banerjee, Sitaram Yechuri, Arvind Kejriwal hugging Lalu Prasad Yadav. And if you remember, Arvind Kejriwal had gone hammer and tongs against Lalu Yadav in the past and about his corruption record. Do you really see the possibility, and I ask you this again, that these forces in a national scenario would set aside these contradictions and come together? I mean, Akhilesh Yadav talked about even a Mahagathbandhan in UP, which sounds crazy right now, but he said it's possible.
Look, first of all, Arvind Kejriwal, when he attacked Lalu, he was an activist. Now he is a politician. In politics, there are no absolutes. In fact, that was my intellectual argument with Arvind Kejriwal, that there are no absolutes in politics. There are no perfect people in politics. And in politics, you can always find moral justification for choosing whatever path you prefer. For example, in the past, everybody got together against the Congress to oppose dynastic rule. Don't forget that in 1989, BJP and the left parties together, they cooperated to keep VP Singh in power. Right? So politics makes for strange bred fellows. That's nothing new. So Arvind Kejriwal supporting Lalu, I'm not surprised, because now BJP is the common enemy of all these parties. BJP is the new Congress in Indian politics. So the other pole now, because one party is not big enough and because Congress is now accepting, I think reluctantly, the fact that in many states it doesn't count for as much as it would have wished to, I think a new front is coming in and many people will find the same justification to say, look, BJP is a communal party, we should forget all the other things and first file this larger evil. I'm not agreeing or disagreeing with it. I'm just telling you that's the way politics works.
It also has a lot of inherent contradictions as well. But thank you very much.
All coalitions have contradictions.
As they do. Thank you very much to you for joining us. And as you can see, one by one, our guests have left.
Because Pawan said Chacha.
And Derek and you have remained.
Because Pawan said Tejasvi calls Nitish Kumar Chacha. You know, in Bihar, it's a risky line to use because this would immediately lead to the idea of Chacha Bhatijawad. Of a new kind.
All right, well, we have to leave it there. Thank you very much, Derek. Thank you to you, Shekhar. And we'll see you again on the other side on Monday. We'll take a short break. We'll be back with more just after that.